The Hall of Justice stands lit against the city skyline, its golden statues towering over a sea of mourners gathered for something that once felt impossible. The Justice League is gone, and the crowd, heroes, civilians, protégés, watches in heavy silence as the truth settles in. For some, this is just another loss in a string of tragedies. But for Cassie Sandsmark, it cuts deeper. Wonder Woman wasn't just a symbol or a teammate. She was her mentor, her shield, her example of what strength looked like. Now Diana is gone, and the weight of that absence presses hard against her chest. Around her, the next generation stands in quiet formation. Superboy, Robin, Kid Flash, Blue Beetle, and the rest. No longer sidekicks, no longer students hiding in the shadows of legends. They are the ones left behind. They don't get the luxury of collapsing under grief. They inherit the responsibility instead. The era of icons has ended, and whether they're ready or not, the future belongs to those who came after. The question hangs in the air like smoke after a battlefield clears. So where does that leave us? The crowd parts just enough to reveal the faces of the ones who were always standing a step behind the legends. Connor Kent, the clone built from Superman and Lex Luthor, carries that contradiction in every breath he takes. He used to move through life like nothing could touch him, the effortless rebel with a grin that hid everything. But death changed that. It cracked the armor and left the boy underneath exposed. Beside him stands Tim Drake, the Robin who chose the mask instead of inheriting it by accident. Being Robin isn't just a role for him, it's the spine of his identity. Strategy, discipline, deduction. He built himself around the mission so completely that it's hard to see where Tim ends and Robin begins. And then there's Bart Allen, Impulse, the kid from the future who runs faster than thought, but still feels a step behind emotionally. He jokes, he fumbles, he overcompensates, yet beneath the chaos is someone desperate to prove he belongs. Together, they were young Justice, sidekicks with swagger and something to prove. Now standing in the shadow of fallen icons, they're not just the next generation, they're the only one left. Earlier, before the funeral, before the silence, the warning signs were already there. The golden statues of the Trinity Tower over the Hall of Justice, and the younger heroes move across them like shadows trying to live up to monuments. There's an uneasiness in the air, because every time the world faces a massive crisis, it's the sidekicks who end up paying the price. History has a pattern, and it rarely favors them. Memories crash in hard and fast. Bart clashes with Superboy Prime, gets swallowed by the Speed Force, forced to grow up overnight and wear the Flash's lightning, only to be cut down soon after. Connor falls, and the image of Superman cradling his body burns itself into everyone who was there. Grief fractures the team, lines get crossed, choices get made that can't be undone. And in the quiet aftermath of all that chaos, Tim finds himself holding on to the only thing that still feels real, a kiss, a connection, a fragile moment of normalcy, while a single thought lingers underneath it all. It's weird, isn't it? The conference room feels colder than the funeral. An empty table sits between them like a reminder of who's missing, and the small talk lands awkward and unfinished. Superboy tries to lighten the mood, mentioning college applications and missed texts. But the question hanging in the air isn't about school, it's about distance. Where was Sissy when everything fell apart? And when was the last time they were all in one place without someone dying? The truth creeps in through hesitant glances and half-finished sentences. They used to be inseparable, knew each other's strengths, weaknesses, secrets. Now they orbit one another like strangers pretending to remember the same past. Everyone has built a life outside the team, separate routines, separate burdens. No one says it outright, but it's there in their faces. They're scared to admit how much they've changed. It feels like meeting old friends after years apart, trying to act like nothing shifted, even though everything did. And beneath the silence is the real fear. If they don't even know who they are anymore, how are they supposed to know where they belong? The tension snaps when Connor throws out a joke about funerals and battlefield treatment, trying to punch a hole through the heaviness. It lands wrong. Tim's voice drops, sharp and cutting. Last time they died, Bart. That isn't theory, that's memory. The room tightens. What was supposed to be gallows humor turns into a reminder that resurrection doesn't erase trauma. It just stacks it. Bart backs off, realizing he stepped on something raw, and offers sympathy about Superman. Connor brushes it aside, but the grief leaks through anyway. Too much distance, too many unsaid words before everything went sideways. Across the room, Cassie's patience shatters. Diana is gone. They're standing together pretending the fractures of the last few years didn't split them wide open. Some of them have already died once. Some of them never came back the same. And for a second, it feels like she's daring someone to admit that maybe a few pieces of them should have stayed buried. Then a sudden distortion in the air interrupts the spiral. A strange sound, sharp and unnatural, cutting through the room like a warning that whatever comes next won't give them time to finish this argument. The argument doesn't get to finish. 1 second, Connor and Tim are still standing across from each other, Bart lingering nearby. The next, there's just empty air. No flash of light, no boom, no dramatic entrance, just absence. Cassie turns, confusion snapping into alarm as she scans the room. Weren't there just 3 idiots right there? The silence answers her. She moves fast, boots echoing against the floor as she circles the table, calling their names. Superboy, Robin, Impulse, nothing. The chairs sit untouched, the space where they stood now hollow, like they were erased mid-conversation. Sissy rushes after her, panic rising, asking the only question that matters. Where did they go? And the worst part isn't that no one saw how it happened. It's that whatever took them didn't even bother to make a scene. Darkness. Then a voice, distant but persistent. Master Drake. Master Drake? Tim jolts upright, breath catching as the room sharpens into focus. Red morning light spills across familiar walls, and standing at the foot of his bed is Alfred Pennyworth, calm, composed, very much alive. For a split second, Tim can't process it. Alfred? You're alive? The words tumble out before he can stop them. Alfred studies him with quiet concern and informs him there's a young justice alert waiting. Just another mission, delivered like any other morning. He suggests Tim must have had a dreadful dream and politely offers to fetch his Robin suit. But Tim's pulse is still racing, because whatever just happened didn't feel like a dream. It felt like something had rewritten the room around him and left him the only one who noticed. A heavy thud snaps through the room, and Tim hits the floor hard, the world tilting sideways. Papers scatter, a camera rolls across the carpet, and somewhere in the haze a voice cuts through the ringing in his ears, dry and unimpressed, asking if Connell drifted off during the briefing again. The sunlight is wrong. The furniture is wrong. Even the air feels borrowed. He looks up and sees XX standing there like this is completely normal, calmly explaining he'd hoped the open window might help Tim stay focused. Tim's mind scrambles to catch up. Hawaii? Why Hawaii? What am I doing here? The questions tumble out as he tries to steady himself. XX kneels, grips his arm, and pulls him upright with quiet strength. Tim swallows hard and asks the only thing that makes sense in a life this unstable. Am I dead again? XX doesn't indulge the spiral. No. But the briefing will have to wait. Young justice is needed. And just like that, reality shifts from confusion to mission. A sharp crack echoes through the gym as Bart's fist glances off the bag, his feet moving a mile a minute while his focus lags a step behind. Wally calls out instructions. Jab left, pivot, move your head. But Bart's rhythm stutters, and Max Mercury doesn't let it slide. He steps in, calm but firm, reminding Bart that speed means nothing if his mind can't keep pace with his body. Think with your opponent. Move in sync. Finish the motion before you celebrate it. Bart forces a grin, brushing it off, tossing out a half joke about losing Barry and not needing the extra pressure. That's when the ground shifts under him. Wally freezes, confused. Lost Barry? You never met him. The words hit harder than any punch. Bart blinks, the room suddenly unfamiliar, memories colliding. He remembers running this place, the Flash Museum, back when he thought he might truly become the Flash, before Barry Allen returned. He remembers statues, memorials, history carved in stone, but now the statue is gone. The timeline feels wrong. His stomach drops as the realization creeps in. If Barry never came back, then when exactly is he Golden lightning tears across a map of the country as Bart ricochets from coast to coast, retracing old battlegrounds and familiar names like he's chasing ghosts. Faces flash in his mind: archers, lanterns, warriors. Every stop another checkpoint in a history that doesn't quite line up. The terrain looks right. The landmarks haven't shifted. On the surface, nothing's broken. And that's what bothers him most. He skids to a halt at Happy Harbor, the League's first headquarters, ducking into the cave like muscle memory never left. The computers hum exactly where they should be. The files are intact. Even the dusty old t-shirt he used to wear is still here. And for a second, he almost smiles. Almost. Then Robin steps from the shadows, equally stunned, and Bart launches into a rapid-fire spiral. Are we back in time, in the wrong timeline, stuck in some sideways universe where everyone else is out of sync? Robin studies the room, the tech, the evidence, and floats a quieter, heavier possibility. Maybe this isn't wrong at all. Maybe this is how things were always meant to be. Headlines scroll across the database. Superman's death, Gotham shaken by catastrophe, Luthor teasing a presidential run. Every major event feels recent, fresh, like the timeline has been trimmed and reset to a specific checkpoint. Then the console starts shrieking. Beep, beep, beep. And the main display slams to a halt on one message. Alert. Young Justice alert. Tim leans closer, scanning deeper. The archive stops right there. Nothing beyond it. No future records. No branching history. It's like the world hits a wall at the exact moment Young Justice is needed. Connor doesn't hesitate. Analysis can wait. Someone out there is in trouble. Bart paces, restless, insisting something about this is off, that they should diagnose the glitch before diving into it. But Tim's already made the call. Whatever cosmic rewrite is happening, it can wait. If there's an emergency with their name on it, then that's the priority. Because no matter what reality they're standing in, one rule hasn't changed. When the alarm sounds, Young Justice answers. The alert hits, and hesitation dies instantly. Robin fires his line and launches forward. Bart ignites in a streak of lightning at his side, and Connor lifts off through the collapsing stone without a second thought. No debate, no doubt. Young Justice is already on the move. At the foot of the Hall of Justice, beneath the towering golden statues, Cassie admits she's searched everywhere and come up empty. Cassie rushes down the steps, confessing she even asked John to scan the building with his X-ray vision. But the boys were standing right there moments ago. Now they're just gone. Cassie tries to steady the panic, reminding her she's out of the hero life and insisting they're probably fine. Yet as she glances back up at the silent monuments of their mentors, doubt creeps in. What if this time they aren't? The three of them stand at the edge of a fresh crater, dust curling into the air as they peer down at a dark, cloaked figure slumped below. Bart is ready to bolt in and help, but something about the scene makes them hesitate. It feels eerily familiar, like a memory tugging at the back of their minds. As they drop into the pit and try to piece it together, the realization starts to form. Something big happened here before. And then the figure stirs, a cold voice cutting through the smoke as all three freeze, understanding too late that they've walked straight into it again. Out of the smoke bursts the mighty endowed, snarling and swearing she'll finish what she always does with her own hands. She lands light on her feet, muscles coiled, trails of dust curling around her as she grins like this is a reunion she's been waiting for. The boys stare up at her in stunned recognition, memory clicking into place a second too late, just before she lunges again with a scream that shakes the crater walls. Inside the Flash Museum, Wally is already in command mode, dividing up assignments and pushing past exhaustion as another crisis unfolds in Central City. Cassie steps in quietly, voice tight, asking if anyone has heard from Bart since the funeral. She hasn't seen him in days, and the silence is starting to feel wrong. Wally doesn't slow down. He tells her they're stretched thin and that grief hits everyone differently, suggesting Bart's probably with Connor and Tim working it out in his own way. But Cassie's hands tremble as she insists she's searched everywhere. She can't feel him anywhere on Earth, and the fear in her eyes says, this isn't just mourning, it's something else. In Bloodhaven, Cassie corners Nightwing on a rooftop, the city lights flickering behind them as he admits Tim's been off the grid and barely holding it together after Bruce's death. He asks her to give him space, promising he'll resurface when he's ready, but that answer feels thin. In Metropolis, she tries John next, and he hovers above the skyline, apologetic and just as lost about Connor's whereabouts, offering help but no real direction. By nightfall, she's alone on a playground swing, the weight of constant catastrophes pressing down as she reflects on how their generation keeps inheriting apocalypses and being told to carry them without breaking. Staring into the dark, she whispers a simple hope that wherever her friends are, they're still breathing. The cave explodes into chaos as the mighty endowed comes screaming out of the smoke, fists flying and eyes blazing, convinced young Justice is the enemy. Connor tries to calm her, Bart rushes in on instinct, and Tim steps between them, only to get hammered backward as she tears through rock and steel like they're cardboard. Every punch lands harder than it should, every shout more unhinged than the last, and the boys start to realize this isn't just another rematch. Something's twisted her anger into overdrive. Tim slams into the cavern wall and hits the ground hard, rubble skidding around him as the impact rattles his skull. Bart zips to his side while Connor stares at the destruction, all three of them realizing she's operating on a completely different tier than before, stronger, faster, meaner. Through the dust and ringing ears, Connor forces a crooked grin and promises backup is on the way, even if he's not totally sure who that backup is. Cassie lies curled on top of her sheets, room a mess around her. Empty cups, an open pizza box, the kind of chaos that happens when you stop pretending you're okay. The words she threw out in anger echo back at her, twisting into something darker, and for a second she wonders if she somehow broke reality just by wishing it would hurt less. But as the moonlight spills through the window, doubt hardens into resolve. Whatever's happening to her friends, wherever they are, she's done sitting still. She wipes her face, steadies her breathing, and decides she's going to find them. And that wraps up this week Comic Stories. Young Justice Dark Crisis, Issue 1. Welcome to Comic Lore, home of Marvel's and DC's wildest stories, where we break down how heroes and villains rise, fall, and sometimes come back stronger than ever. Hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell to stay updated on your comic lore. Don't forget to let us know in the comments if you want to see more comic stories from your favorite characters. Until next time, comic lovers, we'll see you in the next one.